Does your engine sound like this? Now, this engine at times will start right up. I'll be able to cut the grass for about 20 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes, and then it starts surging. But it surges a lot more than what you see now. It'll go all the way back and forth to the point of shutting itself down. I tried readjusting the cable, see if that made a difference. I went to adjust the governor, which with the linkage over here, but it was already adjusted correctly. That wasn't the issue. When I got this, the carburetor gaskets were installed incorrectly. They were all smashed up. I have a new gasket kit in there. This is disconnected because this anti-kickback solenoid is stuck in the down position. So it's not this. It's the carburetor was cleaned out when I put the gasket kit in, and it ran for a couple of days without any issues. Now there's times when this will run and it'll start acting up, play with the throttle a little bit, and then she runs fine for another 30 minutes. One of the things I noticed that when I started up, if it acts like you just heard and saw, if I put the blades on and put it under load, it smooths out. So there's definitely something with gas distribution with this. I'm going to check these hoses again, check these linkages in here again, and to get to the carburetor, I have a few videos on these carburetors. You're going to have to take the bolts off on the back. This is on a Craftsman 20 horsepower Intech. First I'm going to pull this gas line off, make sure the gas is flowing okay. Then I'll pull this cover off to get to the carburetor. This requires, I believe it's a 10mm wrench to get this bolt off, and one on the other side. Over here there's these two bolts up front. Alright, I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to look this all over. If I don't see anything with the linkages or anything like that, this carburetor is coming off again. I'm going to check these hoses, make sure fuel is flowing through okay on this end. Okay, you heard that kickback because I shut the ignition off without slowing it down long enough. First thing I checked was this line. I pulled it away, gas flew out freely. So that was one simple fix that didn't work. Then I started looking at this governor again. I adjusted it several different ways, and I noticed there wasn't the right movement when I was moving the throttle. So I kept playing with the governor, and to tighten the governor, follow your specs on this, look up your specs, whatever your engine happens to be. They all work the same. You have this nut to release it, nut back here, loosen this, you have to loosen, and they have the lever that goes inside the engine to the governor that gets adjusted. They all work the same. I readjusted that several times, and I played with the throttle a little bit over here. I didn't adjust it by much, but just a little bit. And I believe the biggest correction was on this idler screw. Either one or all three of the combination took care of that surging. And you saw when I engaged the blades that it was still running properly. idled up and it idled down. And prior to this, the fast idle and the low idle, it wasn't working right. So one of these three, all three, you might want to check with this first. Because like I said, I cleaned this carburetor out, and I know I cleaned it out well. And I thought I set this back to where it was. Maybe I was off on this, or maybe this didn't have anything to do with it. And that's about it, guys. If you have any questions or comments, post them down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, pass it on to someone else that might be able to use it. And until next time, stay safe. As the caption says, not so fast. After I made the adjustments to the carburetor, the governor, it ran fine for a few minutes and did the same thing all over again. I put it up for the day and I came back to it this morning. Now this is a carburetor, same carburetor as the one that's on there. I can't get too close, there's a lot of heat coming off here. And I'm experimenting with this one over here because it's off a machine I no longer have. I took it completely apart and I had this boil several times in here. And what I have it boiling in is just water and Dawn. Now, after this fire goes out, I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to spray some carb cleaner through it all, blow it out with an air compressor, put it back together, change the carbs, and see if this is going to make a difference. I'm not quite sure what's going on with this, because when it goes off, I was thinking maybe it's a coil, but it starts right up again. If it's a coil, I wouldn't be getting the spark. And generally, the coil has to cool off a little bit before it'll restart. That's a generalization, I know. But at this point now, I have this boiling. It's got to be a couple hours. I was getting rid of some of the scrap wood I had laying around. And all this is a grate in an old barbecue that I've done this before with other carburetors and it's worked. But this over here looked like everything was clean. I didn't take out the Welch plug because I don't have a kit to replace it. So if there's a clog, maybe it's someplace where that Welch plug is. But with all this boiling and me probing with my wire and the carburetor cleaner and the air, that should clean this one out. I don't know if this had a problem to begin with or not, or if I just took it off an engine that was blown. Can't remember where this came from. Normally I mark them. But for now, I'm going to let this finish cooking, so to speak. I'm going to bring it back to the workbench, clean it up, put it together, and see how we make out. Well, this carburetor that I boiled didn't work out. I went back to the original carburetor that was on there, and I had a new gasket set on there, but from taking it on and off, it was shot, and I'm out of gaskets. Now I'm turning my attention to this Walbro carburetor. That's W-A-L-B-R-O. Looks like it'll fit. It's in real bad shape. It was in a box that I had. I don't know how long I had this. I have no idea what it came off of. I'm going to clean it up and put it on and see if we have any better results with this. Can't be any worse. So once I clean this up, I mean, you can see a lot of corrosion here. Spider webs, bugs, everything else in here. Anyway, I'm going to give this a shot, and if this works, we'll have a continuation of the video. That carburetor didn't work. Same problems the other one. Matter of fact, it ran even worse. This carburetor is a Walbro. It's the same configuration as far as setting it up to the manifold. It was in real rough shape. I don't know where I got this one. It was just laying around. Had spider webs in here, dirt, everything else. This was the cleanest I can get it. This bowl was in pretty bad shape. And the reason I'm going to this, somebody in one of my videos, somebody recommended that I switch over from the Nicky carburetors to Walbro. That's W-A-L-B-R-O. And the model number on this one, I don't know if it makes a difference because those Nicky carburetors, they all fit and they all have different model numbers. Alright, and the model number on this is 243, looks like 9. model on this one over here is 2432. Wow, it disappears quick. The model on this is 243269 and looks like 618. But I don't know if the model number really matters on this. I'm going to see if this works. If this carburetor gets it running and it doesn't miss with this, then I'm just going to go out and buy a pair of these, because I have a couple of these Craftsman, and I think I've seen these online for $12, $20, somewhere in that price range. So I'm going to put this on, see if it works, and I'll be back. Okay, let's see if it starts. Okay, well, it looks like it was the carburetor all along. If you recall the condition of this carburetor, when I pulled it out, I believe I filmed it earlier. This was done in a couple of different days. Whenever I had time, I came back to this tractor. This was completely clogged, this carburetor. And again, this is a Walbro carburetor. I'm going to buy a pair of these. I'm going to replace this one, because this was, even though I cleaned it out, it was in pretty bad shape. And if you notice, I don't have any clips on here. This gas line's coming out. This is an old piece. The gas line that went to the original carburetor had a bend in it, and I didn't want to cut it just in case this type carburetor didn't work. So it looks like the carburetor's working. I have to adjust this governor, and this linkage over here has to be adjusted. But I got that surging taken care of, and it was the carburetor all along. It's starting right up now. Now the original carburetor, I cleaned it when I went to put it together. The new gasket was a little deformed and it just wasn't running right. I'm thinking it was the gasket. The second carburetor, the Nicky, I just couldn't get it right. I boiled it clean. I did, I took it apart. I did whatever I could to it, and I just couldn't get it to work right. So again, I'm going to go to this type carburetor, Walbro. I'm going to order a few of them online and put the new one in and finish this up and roll it on out. That's it for now, guys. It's a wrap. And if you found this video useful or have any questions or comments, post them down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. It helps. And I know I mentioned this a couple of times in my other videos, but I have an Amazon affiliate link. I have links down below. If you buy online through Amazon, through my link, I get a small commission. It helps me with the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. If you don't have an Amazon account or Amazon Prime, I have a link down below where you could try it for 30 days. At the end of 30 days, or before 30 days, cancel it out if you don't want it. If not, you pay, I think it's $12 or $13 a month. But for 30 days, you could try it out for free. You get your 2-day delivery regardless of the package. You know, it doesn't have to hit that $25 minimum or $35, whatever it is now, I'm not even sure. But try it out, see if you like it. Let me know what you think. And until next time, everyone, stay safe.